Hello everyone, welcome to today's show. My name is Spencer. Thank you so much for joining us here today. We got a busy one for you as always. Here's what we got on today's show. The second Brett Kavanaugh accuser has come forward, whereas a conservative think tank leader who floated the Kavanaugh conspiracy theory about there being a case of mistaken identity in the situation is going to be taken, well, how should we say this? A leave of absence. Well, Brett Kavanaugh may be screwed. This could also help screw the GOP for the midterms. And speaking of screwing the GOP, there are new polls out, and they're, quote, looking beyond weak for the GOP. We're going to take a look at that, as well as 6 siblings of the GOP representative Paul Gosar are endorsing his opponent in the Republican in the Arizona race, which is actually pretty incredible. So yeah, 6 of his siblings. Wow, that's very, like, that's how you know you did something wrong there in life, where you don't have the support of your siblings in what you're trying to do if you're trying to run for office there. I mean, wow. Anyway, yeah, great show ahead for us today. I'm just getting a little bit of a late start today. It's all right. 1 week after California professor Christine Blasey Ford attempted to publicly accused Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh of attempting to sexually assault her when they were both in high school, a woman named Deborah Ramirez has now come forward with a new misconduct allegation against the nominee, according to a new report from New Yorkers Ronan Farrow and Jane Mayer. Senate Democrats are investigating Ramirez's claim, which dates back from when she attended Yale University with Kavanaugh during the 1983-84 academic year. This is another very serious, credible, disturbing allegation against Brett Kavanaugh. It should be fully investigated, Senator Mazie Hirono told the New Yorker. While these allegations seem credible and we're taking them very seriously, if established, they're clearly disqualifying on top of, obviously, the other ones that we know about. So, yeah, I am going to describe this to you in a moment, but first, I mean, it was a big, and they quote the New Yorker article extensively in this, but first, like, can we just give a round of applause again for more great journalism from Jane Mayer and Ronan Farrow here? Wow. Okay, yeah, so that's some pretty good stuff. There's no doubt about that. So Farrow and Mayer reported that Republicans also learned about the accusation last week, and they issued news calls to accelerate timing of the committee vote soon after. So it's very disturbing. It's very disturbing that like they knew about these allegations pretty much as soon as the Democrats did. Like, word gets around, I guess, in that small little hill building that they're all in. So like, yeah, they knew about it. So what Chuck Grassley and all of them decided to do is like, let's speed up the vote, let's speed up the process quickly. But the question is, did Christine Blasey Ford know there was another woman so she could continue to come out and resist this whole situation? Like, if there is a and possibly now we hear there could be a third woman, because Michael Avenatti, and this is a big capital P possible here. There is a guy, Michael Avenatti, obviously Stormy Daniels' lawyer, was tweeting last night that he was like, I'm getting word there's another story coming out, #Basta. That's what he likes to sign all his tweets with. And then, so when the name of the person is revealed, and it's Deborah Ramirez, that's the name of this new accuser here, and then the response there is from Michael Avenatti. The response from Michael Avenatti is very simply, I'm not representing Deborah Ramirez. And he says, Michael Avenatti says he's representing someone with key evidence against the nominee. So there has to be logic. If it's not Deborah Ramirez, and if it's not Christine Blasey Ford, she already has her own representation. Maybe she decided to switch, who knows. But if it's not any of them, then it has to be a third person. So, I mean, maybe he's got his stuff mixed up. We will find out eventually. But that's just the thing. So we really don't know yet. So Ramirez who's 53 years old today, and Kavanaugh were freshmen at Yale at the time of the alleged incident. According to New Yorker, she was hesitant to become forward because she was drinking at the time of the alleged attack, and we just don't know really yet that there has been. We really don't know yet that there has been any real. There's people that's there's people that's come out and corroborate her, but the thing she was worried about apparently was that she was just not actually trying to tell the story accurately because there was many blackouts in her memory, which is a little bit disturbing. Because I do get why you wouldn't want to really come forward if you, I don't really remember the whole thing, and when the last accuser, who remembered everything perfectly, came out and she got death threats, she had to relocate from her house. Like, you get the idea. You gotta come and you gotta know exactly. But then she assessed her memories apparently. And so, yeah, this is how it's described from the New Yorker. Ramirez said that when both she and Kavanaugh were freshmen at Yale, she was invited by a friend on the women's soccer team to a dorm room party. She recalled the party took place in a suite at Lawrence Hall in the part of the Yale known as the Old Campus. And a small group of students decided to play a quick drinking game together, saying we were sitting in a circle. Excuse me. I'm very sorry there. She goes on to say, people would pick who drank. Ramirez was shown repeatedly, she said, and quickly became inebriated. At one point, she said, a male student, pointed a gag plastic penis in her direction. Later, she said she was on the floor, foggy, slurring her words, and the male student and another stood by. Ramirez identified the two male onlookers, but at her request, the New Yorker is not naming them. This is directly here from the New Yorker. A third male student then exposed herself to her, saying, quote, I remember a penis being in front of my face. That was an actual penis, not a plastic one this time. And the other students laughing at her confusion and taunting her, one encouraging her to kiss it. I mean, I'm not, this is some embarrassing stuff. This is stuff you don't want to get. Imagine, if your entire friend group in high school knew, this happened. Imagine if your school knew this happened. Now imagine if a country of 300 some odd million people knew that you were humiliated like this at the party. That's what I'm saying. It's not that fun to come out and tell your story of misconduct or harassment or whatever. So yeah, Ramirez, who was a raised devout Catholic in Connecticut, said that she was really shaken. I wasn't going to touch her penis until I was married, she said. I was embarrassed and ashamed and humiliated. She remembers Kavanaugh standing to her right and laughing, pulling up his pants, so it was him. He says, I can still see his face and his hips coming forward, like when you pull up your pants. She recalled another male student shouting about the incident. Somebody yelled down the hall, Brett Kavanaugh just put his penis in Debbie's face. That's not very... Ugh, God. Ugh, yeah. So, it was his full name. I don't think it was just Brett, she added. And I remember hearing and being mortified that this was out there. Yeah, and I mean, now she has to be mortified all over again because the whole country knows, and half of it's going to attack her for it, and half of the country will support her for it. One of Ramirez's classmates, who wanted to remain anonymous, told the New Yorker that he remembered hearing the incident in days after it occurred. He told the magazine he was 100% sure that Kavanaugh was the person he was told exposed himself to Ramirez. Other former students remembered similar incidents occurring and confirmed the magazine that they recall Kavanaugh's involvement. Excuse me. So Mark Krasberg, who's an assistant professor of neurosurgery at the University of New Mexico, who is from the New Yorker again, who was also a member of Kavanaugh and Ramirez's class at Yale, said that Kavanaugh's college behavior had become a topic of discussion among Yale former students soon after Kavanaugh's nomination, which is actually pretty funny. In one email that Krasberg received in September, the classmate who recalled hearing about the incident with Ramirez alluded to it and wrote, it would qualify as a sexual assault if it's true. So they alluded to the incident about Ramirez, and so that's emails, that's multiple people's corroborating. So that's how you know it's happened. That's how you know it's happened. There are people out there saying it and corroborating it, which is pretty interesting. I'm sure the New Yorker had to look at these emails, which again just adds further credibility and further support to these allegations here. And I mean, not that when it's coming from Rowan Farrell, it's better that you it's better that you just assume it's true, because it's most likely true, because he doesn't mess up very often. So yeah, college friends of Kavanaugh, the alleged witness, deny the incident or say they did not remember the party. So there is that situation. And then apparently Kavanaugh's calendars, chronicling every high school party that he ever was at from like the 1980s. I don't know if I think this was made in before these new allegations came out. And apparently Kavanaugh has calendars that will come out and disprove everything he said. And apparently that's what we're at now. He says he's going to give these to the Senate, which is pretty incredible. And I really doubt, it's either very strange or very fake. Because, I don't know anyone who has kept detailed accounts of everything they did since college. I just don't know what's going on. So, the White House issued a statement from Kavanaugh, an administration spokesperson, in response to the story, saying this alleged event happened from 35 years ago, did not happen. The people who knew me then know that this did not happen, and have said so. This is smear, plain and simple. I look forward to testifying on Thursday about the truth and defending my good name and reputation for the character and integrity I've spent a lifetime building against these last-minute allegations. This 35-year-old uncorroborated claim is White House spokesperson Carrie Kupek responding. Is the latest in a coordinated smear campaign by the Democrats designed to tear down a good man. This claim is denied by all who were said to be present and is wholly inconsistent with many women and men who knew Judge Kavanaugh at the time in college say. So, okay, but there were literally emails back and forth and back and forth and back and forth of people coming out and saying that there was a there was a major problem with Kavanaugh's behavior in college, and they even alluded to the incident that was referred to in the New York story, independently. They just talked about, remember that good buddy Kavanaugh from college? He was a real creep, wasn't he? Remember when he pulled and exposed his penis to some girl's face? That's literally what they said in that email. So, and yeah, and there's 6 people corroborating it, and let's be real. This is a real story here. So, Maggie Haberman reported the following, saying, quote, per people in contact with him, Trump was briefed earlier today on the allegations in the New Yorker piece. Per one person briefed on the discussions, Trump is said this is why they should have been fighting the Ford allegations from the beginning, and this is what Trump wanted to do. So apparently he was very much against coming out softly for the allegations, as we've seen him do this past entire week. His philosophy on fighting against women is don't give an inch, don't give a centimeter. Just don't admit any wrongdoing. Don't accommodate, don't be nice, don't be warm, don't be outgoing. Fight to kill. And his aides have really tried to, I guess, kept him on message thus far, so that we see pretty much that we get the sense that they're welcoming, they're accommodating, but that's not Trump's style, and he doesn't like it. Trump is apparently calm, according to 2 people in touch with him, and sticking with Kavanaugh, but there is drama between the Kavanaugh team and some White House aides whom Kavanaugh believe for the Washington Post leak out of their moot session last week. So that's very interesting. So Team Kavanaugh and Team White House, and they think the WAPO leak came from the White House. Kavanaugh's team does, so that's a little bit of drama and could be a little bit of a revealing source, which is odd. Ramirez told the New Yorker that she initially blamed herself for this assault. Over the years, she's come to see it differently. Even if I did drink too much, and any person observing it would they want their daughter, their granddaughter with a penis in their face while they're drinking too much? I can say at 53, when I was 19 or 20, I was vulnerable. I didn't know better. Kavanaugh's friends are accountable for not stopping this, but what Brett did was worse. What does it mean that this person has a role in defining women's rights for a future? Again, it happened in high school. It wasn't like he knocked someone out, but again, I think she just put it perfectly there. This